Hello. So the first thing you gotta know about me is that my mind is it's, I don't want to say messed up. It's just that it's quite jumbled at times. And one reason I'm doing all these vlogs is that I like to think that I can unjumble my mind to some extent. So I'm just doing this off the cuff. That's one reason I do it. And there's gonna be long pauses where I not know what I'm doing, and I'm not gonna cut because I think that's important, as I've said before in videos that are probably not watched by anyone, maybe a few people. That I don't just I think it's very important to show the in between. I think that there's so much cutting and not pasting, whatever, but like cutting and cutting out the in between stuff. Which, I mean, there's a reason we're having all this like meta fiction, meta everything self reflexive shit, like people showing the background of, like, you watch TV shows and they show they break the fourth wall and shit. It's because there's some need to show behind the scenes that it's not all glory, right? Yeah. So yeah, I'm gonna pause just to think of stuff, and it's gonna be awkward. Let's have it be awkward because it needs to be awkward, right? You're gonna sit here, you're gonna watch me just not know what to say, and that's what's gonna happen. Five, four, three, two, one, go. Wasn't so bad, was it? It was just a few moments, but it wasn't so bad. Yeah. So I'm kind of pissed off right now. I've got to be honest. I'm not gonna necessarily explain exactly why because that might be counterproductive. But let's just say that I got back from a trip. Didn't go as planned. It's not that it didn't go as planned. It's just that I felt so alone. If I'm being honest, felt alone, and I felt alone, not because I was alone. I liked the part that there was times when I was alone, like physically, and I felt better during those times. It was that I was with people that made me feel alone. Unfortunately, if these people watch it, they'll probably know it's them, but I guess that's a risk I have to take. It's really scary though because it's like, oh my gosh, like I don't want to ruin this shit with these people, even though I pretty much already have. Like there's not much more I could do to, like, I don't know if I don't want them to hate me or anything, but that's what I'm afraid has to happen. But try my best not to have that happen. Unfortunately, it makes for bad content when you don't talk shit about shit, right? Who says you gotta do that anyway? Talk shit. God damn. So this is essentially, I'm treating this like the first video because it's the first one where the looks like the camera stuff is good. It's not just like messed up stuff. But I definitely don't have a direction with this YouTube channel. So if you're watching this, I don't have a direction yet. So bear with me. Here's the thing. I don't want to be a joke. I don't want to be satire. You know, I use like Instagram. I go crazy on Instagram. I just do stupid shit on Instagram. I can't take it seriously. Something about YouTube, it's like you can take it seriously a little more. And that's what I want to do. This is a place where I don't have to just joke about everything. That's part of one thing that made me feel so alone with the trip, the people I was just with on the trip. they were like joking about stuff that was just not funny, and it was like, how do you? It's hard to explain without going into detail. But suffice it to say that they're liberal as fuck, like politically liberal, and what that does for me at this point when I'm not feeling very political at all is that it really alienates me, antagonizes me. It's like, get away from me. Because like what I'm doing, what I'm trying to do is get away from all this political bullshit. I don't want to be part of it. I know that there's really no choice. Okay, some of you are saying like there's no choice. You have to be political because everything is political. I agree with you, and I don't think that's a good thing. So if you can get away from it for a while, that's a good thing. Because there's really no need for everything to be political. And I could get real deep in this, and I could start talking about how like unity and equality is just sort of an illusion. But well, maybe I should go there. That's kind of what I just said. But the reason I don't want to go too deep into that is people are going to be like, oh, this guy, he's like some kind of freak. He thinks that he's radical. He thinks that unity is not right. And I guess if that makes me radical, I guess that's what I am. Because I had this realization a while ago, like, unity, like, there's more people than ever on this planet. Not to talk shit about overpopulation. I don't know. I don't know about that. But there is more people, and we're also expected to get along better. And it's like, if there was 1 billion people on this planet who didn't get along very well, how the hell is 8 billion all going to get along even better? And another thing that just comes to mind when I say that is literacy. So, literacy and maturity. So, you hear all this talk, like this red pilling talk, like women are entitled nowadays. And it's like, I kind of agree because they, like, I just saw this, for example, this thing on this one site. It was like this woman was like, it was just the title. I just read the title of this article and it said, I just broke it off with the best man I've ever been with because I deserve better. And it's like, you don't know what that comes off like. I mean, even if you're reasonable in your actual article, like the title of that is just like entitled as fuck. Oh man, I just lost my train. I lost the direction kind of, but so another so what I was saying was that people need to be they need to know how to think. It's more important than ever to think, and yet we're thinking even less than ever. That's how it feels, at least, because people are just on their phones, and that does to some extent liquefy your brain. I hate to align with some people who, don't know what they're talking about or whatever, but definitely like watching too many videos about whatever, whatever it is. I don't know. Depends what it is, but a lot of a lot of screen time is kind of bad. It's it's just like, and this is why reading is so important. I'm not gonna be a booktuber, but maybe a little bit. Thing about it is, you read, and it may not solve all your problems right away, but it gets you thinking. Like, I was reading this one book, and it's fiction, and I'm like, I can't get to I'm not at the point where I can like really understand exactly what it's about because it's a complex book. But at the same time, it like gets me thinking about myself, gets me introspecting in a way that's like, oh, yeah, I can actually, I can think. Going back to the thing about behind the scenes, I can think behind the scenes. My life doesn't have to always be a movie, okay? Life is not always a movie. Sometimes you gotta, most of the time, you're behind the scenes and looking at everything, and you're like, oh shit, there's all this shit behind the scenes. And that's something I failed to do until I was maybe 29, and I'm 29 now. So that makes sense, right? I was like, I had this realization, like, oh, thinking is good. Behind the scenes. Everything's behind the scenes. You have thoughts. Your thoughts are there. It's not cheating to think. I used to think it was cheating to think. Like that is societal indoctrination if there ever was one or two or three. Whoa, dizzy. So I want to be known as a sensitive smartass because I feel like I'm even in this video I'm going back and forth a lot between um like crazy stupid shit and like being serious. And I feel like people would not be able to understand. A lot of people would not have the discerning mind to be like, oh, this guy is like kind of serious, but also not serious. Maybe they do. I don't know. Maybe I'm underestimating you, the viewer. I'm sorry for that, but it just that's how it feels. Like people are gonna just like relegate you, stereotype you, or me in this case, into oblivion, where it's like, oh, he's just this, he's just that, he's just crazy, or he's too serious. It's like, but I want the whole nuance to come across. You know what I mean? Like I'm being serious and not serious at the same time. Yes, I am being both of those at once. Get used to it. Okay? If you can't get used to it, there's something wrong. Either you shouldn't be watching my videos because you just don't like me personally, which that's something I have to come to terms with. Or if you have some offense taken, then I don't know what to say to you. Like grow up? I don't know. Do something like that to get used to it because offending is going to happen. Gah. Anyway, this video is getting a bit long. So as an intro video, I just want to keep it short even though this is long. So that makes sense. Bye.